I should be in bed, but I'm gonna tell a story. And I'm recording this part because I feel like when I told it the first time, I was speaking too low and maybe I was being too shy because it's just a lot. But okay. So one day I was walking home from school. This was a couple years ago. I was walking home from school and I hear some guy go, "Hey, yo." And so all I could think to myself is, I know this person is not talking to me. So I keep walking until they say, "Hey, yo, girl." And I'm just like, ugh, I could sprint to my apartment, but like, also like, I don't know if this is the type of guy where, like, I'd go to the hospital for 9 months, or in 9 months, I'll go to the hospital. So I turn, and he goes like, "What's your name?" So I tell him my name, and then he goes, "Okay, like, I like your name." I said, "Thank you." He, looking at him, he's like kind of cute, and he's in a group of guys, and they all look like they're around my age, but like I'm not sure, or maybe they could be younger. But like, it's not giving predator. Like this guy, he's not like 26 or something like that, which is crazy. Because one day I was walking home with my violin and my backpack, and this grown man on the way to work was like, "Okay, I see you, girl. Like, looking kind of cute." And he was on the way to work. Like, this was a grown man, and I was like a whole kid. But anyway, I digress. He's like, "Yeah, like, I like your name." I said, "Thank you." And like, I'm ready. I want to go home. Like, it's been a long day. Like, it's around like 4, close to 5 in the evening. Like, I was at improv club, just trying to mind my own black owned business and make it home. But yeah, he like tells me that he likes my name, and then like I turned my body to go back to my apartment, even though he's cute. And he goes like, "I think you're really pretty," and I say, "Thank you." And it's just awkward silence, cause it's like him standing in the midst of these random boys and like me by myself. Like, it's probably like 5 against 1, and like I just like nod, smile, and I keep it pushing, right? And like a couple seconds later, he goes, "Oh, like, oh, so what you say your name was again?" Like, he already forgot my name, which is a turn off. And so I tell him my name, and he's like, "Okay, okay." So then he backs off. I go home. It's whatever. I text my friend, and I don't remember how we talked back then, but like, I was just telling like, "Oh my gosh, like, I just got caught called. Like, this has never happened to me before." And she's like, I don't know how to word this. I don't remember how she talked, but she was like, "Oh yeah, like, okay, you better get it, girl." Basically. And that was that. So unlike my sisters who did get the opportunity growing up to like get a boyfriend, all that stuff, like, I didn't have that opportunity. Like, my major priority has to be like my siblings, my mom, school, improv club, like dance club, um, creative writing club, color guard, orchestra club, like all that stuff. That was the only thing I was allowed to think about slash do. And like, also I was really into art. And yeah, time went on. I was minding my own black owned business, and like, maybe if this person noticed me, I wouldn't notice them, or like maybe if I noticed them, that person wouldn't notice me like outside or anything like that. We were never like, we're in close proximity where we have it like a conversation or anything like that. And so I remember like my sister at the time, she was telling, my older sister lived in the town as we did, but she had her own place at this time, so she wasn't living with us at our apartment complex. She was telling me how like this night school where she teaches at part-time, like, there's these twins who like be acting a fool, and they would be in like a regular high school, but like they don't really like listen to authority, and like they're pretty crazy, and like they're all about the streets and stuff like that. So like they don't really like, I don't know, they don't really, I don't know how to really say this nicely. They don't really they're like menaces to society, I guess I should say. And yeah, she was telling me how like they're from the Caribbean, and they're only like here for a little bit, and they actually coincidentally like, time passes. My encounter of being catcalled was like around September. I don't know if it was early September or late September. And like it's around November or so And I remember we were driving home from like church or something. And while I was in the car, I saw, I think I saw the guy that like catcalled me talking to the drug dealer who lives behind me. And so the guy that I think catcalled me, he turns around and I see his face and I'm like, yeah, like that's definitely the guy who catcalled me. And there's another dude standing next to him. And the guy standing next to him turns around and I go, this is all in my head. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's the guy who catcalled me. And then it occurs to me like, oh, like he's an identical twin. Like he's the twin, or in the twin set that like my sister was talking about. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is so hard to tell. Like I'm already getting confused, and like I'm trying to re-record these parts because like I feel like I'm not getting to the point fast enough. So after it come to the conclusion that like the guy who catcalled me is an identical twin, and I don't know like which guy is the guy that catcalled me, I tell my friends this at school, and they're like, okay, so like how would you know? Like how are you gonna ever find this out? And I'm like, I don't know. So I'm like, I should just go about my own black-owned business, basically. So time continues to pass, and then like I don't remember if it was like the end of winter or like the beginning of spring, but like I just remember, or no, I think maybe it was like the end of winter. My friend, who wasn't originally my friend, I met her through like a friend I already had. So like me and this other girl, we shared a mutual friend. And so through the mutual friend, I met this girl, and she ended up moving into my apartment complex. And so I think she moved in the end of winter or the beginning of spring semester, I think. And what ended up happening is she like befriends this gangbanger guy in our apartment complex. They ended up dating, and her boyfriend, such a gangbanger guy, is like in cahoots with the twins and the drug dealer that lives behind me. And so I remember one day, as the weather was getting nicer, I was just hanging outside with like my friend who lived at the apartment complex, and she was telling me how like she wanted to talk to her boyfriend, but like she didn't know where he was, and like she was telling me about their relationship problems, and I was telling her like, in all honesty, like I really don't care for this man. Like I know I've never met your boyfriend, but like he's just not giving. Like the way you describe him and stuff like that, or like even what he's about, like you could just do so much better. And I just remember her telling me that like I was coming off as judgmental and mean and jealous, and like I don't support her happiness and stuff like that. And I was just kind of over her at that point. But like, oh my gosh, my friend who lives at the apartment complex, I don't like her boyfriend, and the fact of like what he's about, and like I already said, the twins were questionable because my sister said they were crazy, and they went to night school for a reason, because they be acting up and they're on juvenile like delinquent type of behavior, and like they're in cahoots with the guy behind me who's like the known neighborhood drug dealer and stuff like that. Summer comes, and I'm just like, well, I really want a job, but like I don't think I'm gonna get a job like in our city. So like, you know what, like maybe I should try to apply for a job in my hometown, because even though we lived in our city, before we moved out there, like my mom still owned the house in our hometown, and my other sister still lived out there. So I was like, you know what, I could spend the summer like at my house with my sister, and you know, like I could just work part-time and earn some money. So that's what I did. Like while my mom and like my siblings stayed in our city, I went back to my hometown for that summer, and I just worked. And my sister didn't really pay much attention to me because she had a full-blown boyfriend who was 6 years her senior and had like a whole kid and like had a whole life and stuff like that, and she was trying to make that work out. Like I was just like to myself, and like my manager sucks. She rarely like scheduled me, so I would work like 3 days of the week for like 4 hours, and that was it. Like I was so bored. Like some days I wouldn't even ever have to speak, because like my sister spent all her time at her boyfriend's place. So, and like at this time I had lived at my apartment for like years, so I didn't even have any friends in my hometown. And like the ones that I was acquainted with, like, we didn't have like a strong relationship or anything, because like technically I didn't grow up in my hometown since I moved in middle school to like where my apartment was at, which is 3.5 hours away. Okay, so what ended up happening is one day I was on FaceTime with my friend, the one who lives at my apartment complex. And what ended up happening is she was gonna put on like her sweatshirt or like her hoodie, but like she like had to put down her phone while we were on FaceTime. And so I don't see what she puts her phone on. And like as she's putting on her sweatshirt, you know, she's like dancing around. And I'm like dancing around with her, like being silly. We were just lollygagging, you know. Like when you're like 16, because at this time I had turned 16, you don't really have anything to talk about. Like, you know, like you just talk about sunshine and rainbows, like, you know. So like, you know, we're just dancing around, being silly. And I didn't know she was with one of the twins at the time, like just hanging out. And they were like on the porch beneath her apartment, right? And so like, you know, I'm just dancing around being silly. And so he flips the camera and he just waves at me like this. And you know, I'm dumbfounded because I'm like, I didn't even know he was with you. And like, I feel weird. So I'm just like, you know, and then he flips the camera back on her and, you know, like, she doesn't think anything of it. And then like a minute later, he flips the camera back on him and he goes, hi, like, what's your name? And so I tell him, and then, I'm like, okay, like, who are you and stuff like that. Like, I'm just making conversation. And he's like, oh, I think you're really cute. I was like, thank you. And he's like, do you want to be my girlfriend? And so my friend, I never seen her move so quickly. She snatched her phone so quick. Like, just snatched it. Why am I laughing? Because that was like low-key embarrassing on her behalf. Because she has a whole man. So, like, why are you trying to prevent us from talking? Anyway, she snatched that phone so quickly. And I was just like, and so he goes like, wait, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, give me back the phone. Like, I want to speak to her. Like, I want to know what's her name. Is she single? What's her snap? And as he's saying this stuff, she is, because they're on the porch beneath her apartment. She's like marching up her stairs, like about to go to her apartment. He's like, oh, let me talk to her. Like, what's her snap? Like, does she got a man? Like, what's her name? Like, da 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 da. And like, she was like, this is like kind of bad, but like, she was sad because lo and behold, she had a cold crush on this man. And I remember like when she was telling me about her gangbanger boyfriend and the twins, she was telling me how she like finds the twins attractive, and like if she didn't have her gangbanger boyfriend, she would be with them, one of them or both, we don't know. And all I could think to myself was like, dang, like I feel bad for my friend, but also it's like, girl, you're in a full-blown relationship. Like, why are you trying to prevent me from talking to this person who like I may have spoken to before you ever came into the picture? I never said this though. I was thinking it. And then I don't know why, but I just felt bad. I was just like, well, you know, like, yeah, she shouldn't be in that relationship with her gangbanger boyfriend. But also it's like, no one told you to be in this relationship with him. Basically, what ended up happening, I was texting my group chat with my friends who aren't her friends because, like I said, like, I originally knew this girl because she was a friend of a friend, and then we became friends because she just happened to move into my apartment complex. So I was texting my friends in our little group chat about it. And, like, girl, like, you've mentioned him before. Like, you should definitely get to know him. And I was like, that's the thing. I don't know if this is a twin who I've already spoken to. What ends up happening is one of my friends, she, like, is like, okay, well, give me your friend's number, and I'm gonna message her and tell her, like, hey, like, can you back off, like, give me some space to like get to know him, because girl, remember, you're in a relationship. So basically I think I gave my friend her number, and then that's how my friend messaged my friend to like distract her and like also convince her to let me talk to the guy. And what ended up happening? Basically, I got his number, and I got his number, or like I got his snap or something. Wait, what happened? I think Give me a second. Okay, I have to my grammar. My speech is leaving me. Oh my gosh. Right after this happened, I remembered like I got his number and I got his snap, and me and my mom, because my mom had recently came into town to see me, she came to my hometown to see me and spend time with me because my sister wasn't really paying much attention to me. Me and my mom ended up going to like the local track and like walking around, and so I got on the phone with him and we were just talking. And like when you're 16, you don't really have anything important to really say, so he was just like giving me sweet talk over the phone. And I don't know, I just felt like it was kind of performative, and like this man is just trying to charm me off my socks and get into my bed. So I was just like, who all is around you? Because you're saying all this stuff, like, and it just seems like you're all talking, no acting. Like, who all is around you? And he goes, well, I got 1, 2, 3 Negroes, 4 Negroes, 5 Negroes, 6 Negroes over here. But it's all cool. Like, it's nothing. And, like, I was like, okay. And stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I don't know why, but like I was just like, he's telling me all these things I want to hear. Like, yeah, like saying stuff like, oh yeah, I really like you and stuff. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't really care what anyone else thinks or like what anyone like might say. Like, you seem really interesting. It might be too fast, but I really like you and stuff like that. And I was like, And I don't know why, but it never occurred to me to like ask him like, so do you remember me like from a couple months ago? In the fall when I was walking home and like you catcalled me. Like, I don't know, it just never occurred to me because I was just like, well, like maybe when he saw me on the phone and he automatically like showed his interest in me, it was because he recognized me. But like also back then, like I wore my hair straight all the time, and like in the summer I had full locks, so I looked a little bit different hairstyle wise. And like during the school year I'm wearing tights and plaid skirts and polos. But in the summer, I can wear whatever I want, or like after school, I wear whatever I want. So like, maybe he doesn't recognize me from like my hairstyles and my clothes. So I don't know why, but it just didn't occur to me to ask like, so like, do you recognize me from a couple months ago or anything like that? Like that never came up. Okay. I don't know where I'm gonna cut the last clip, but yeah, I went to my apartment. I went back to my apartment with my mom. And while my mom was at work, one of my brothers would play video games during the day, and then my other brother would be at work. Like I would hang out with my friend. Her gangbanger boyfriend didn't really hang out with us at the time, but it was just me, my friend, and the twin I liked. And then sometimes his twin would join us, or like their little sister would join us. And what ended up happening is like for 4 days we would just like sit on my porch and just talk. And also, there's this like girl who was like neighbors with me, and she was like maybe like 9 or 10. She was really sweet. Sometimes she would hang out with us too, or just like interact with us too. But like she had like I think she had a little sister, and then like a little stepbrother, and then I think she had one more sibling that she had to look after. And like sometimes they would interact with us, but mainly it was just me, my friend, the twin I liked, and then sometimes his twin would join us. So it'd be the four of us plus like my neighbor and like maybe her siblings. We just sit on the porch and like hang out. And it was really nice actually. And like as I'm getting to know the twins, I could just like see why my friend liked them. But also it's just like, girl, like if you like both of them so much. Like, leave your gangbanging boyfriend and pursue one of them, because you can't have both. I'm pretty sure they're not down for that. I don't know. Some twins are freaks. There's this one day where I went to my older sister's place because she didn't live with us at our apartment anymore. I went to my older sister's place and we made some cookies. And I remember I texted the twin I liked and I was like, oh, like, I could bring you some cookies if you'd like. Like, I think you'd really like them. And I remember the next day when I was supposed to see the twin that I liked, like, he didn't come to my porch. At the time, he said he'd be there. And so, like, I'm, like, texting. I think I was texting the twin I liked. Turns out I was texting his twin. I didn't know it at the time. So the twin I like was asleep, unbeknownst to me and my friend. Meanwhile, his brother was awake, and so his brother was texting me, which I didn't know, and he was like, so which twin do you like? And I was like, I don't know, all I could think to myself is, like, this is weird, because I was thinking I was texting the twin I like. Really, I wasn't. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And he goes, like, the one with, like, the low cut, or, like, the one with the hair? And by hair, he meant, like, afro. And I go, like, the one I'm talking to. And then it occurred to me, like, dang, like, I got the wrong twin. Like, obviously, like, his brother is asking me this question because, like, his brother, like, probably thinks that, like, there's a chance that I could like him too. They're identical. And they act the same. But, like, it was just crazy to me because it's just, like, so, like, you knew the whole time while your brother was pursuing me that he wasn't you. Like, he wasn't the one. He wasn't you. Like, you knew this whole time that I liked your brother, thinking that he was you. And, like, thinking that he was the one that called me. And, like, he was the one that, like, I would look for. Not look for, but, like, I would look around and, like, wonder if that was you. Like, I don't know. That's just so weird to me. Like, you never want to speak up and be like, oh, just so you know, like, the twin that you talked to all this time ago, like, several months ago in the fall, the twin that you like, that's me. That's not him. Like, you like the wrong one, or, like, you didn't want to speak up. I don't know. Like, that's just so weird to me. That's so weird. Like, that's so confusing. But, yeah, like, when I was supposed to meet with the twin I liked to give him the cookies, he wasn't awake, and so his brother, after I answered which one I liked, his brother was like, oh, well, he's asleep. And I was like, what do you mean he's asleep? He's like, well, he was up, like, earlier today, and then he went to sleep. And I was like, okay, well, I overthink a lot. I was like, asleep? Like, how do you know he's not dead? And he was like, what do you mean? Like, he was up a little while ago. And I don't know, I was kind of sad, because I'm just like, dang, like, you like me, but, like, when you say you're going to spend time with me, high school relationships, when you say you're going to spend time with me, you don't. Like, you decide to get high and take a nap, because they were potheads also, yeah, at 16 years old. But, yeah, like, that was crazy to me. And, or they were 17 at the time, I think. But, yeah, they were, like, major stoners. And I guess, like, he smoked, and then he, like, went to sleep again, took, like, a little midday nap. And I remember, like, when the twin I liked finally did wake up and, like, came by, like, I didn't really want to interact with him because I was, like, sad. I was, like, nearly crying. And I remember during that day, like, when he wasn't texting me because he was asleep, like, me and my friend, which she actually was a good friend at this point, because my friend set her straight, and, like, also I did communicate with her that, like, it bothered me that you're mad at me for, like, liking this guy who you also like, but you're already in a relationship with somebody else. And, like, even if I was pursuing this twin, you could pursue the other one. But, like, after I set her straight about that, like, she actually was a good friend to me. And I remember, like, I was texting her, I was like, yeah, like, I was supposed to see him, but he fell asleep. And, like, he didn't see me when he was supposed to see me. So, like, we went across the street to Burger King, and we were just eating. And I was telling her, like, yeah, I'm, like, so sad about this. And, like, I don't know, she actually, like, had my back and was like, yeah, he's in the wrong. Like, what type of guy said he's gonna spend time with you and then just like doesn't remember or like doesn't keep track of time and like tell you like, oh, like I'm actually too tired, like can we reschedule? Because like it's already bad enough you're only here for like a week because you got to go back to your hometown and like work, and you came out here just so you could spend time with me and the guy that you like and also your family. And I was like, yeah. And I don't know, that kind of brought us closer. And what ended up happening is like, yeah, we hung out that day. We did end up hanging out that day. And I went back to my hometown and I spent like the next 2-3 weeks once again up until 4th of July with my sister, who barely spoke to me slash hung out with me. She was always at her boyfriend's place. And then 4th of July comes. I'm back at my apartment with my family, and like me and my friends, you know, when you're like, me and my friends, our parents are like helicopter parents, and like, you know, just like growing up, for them to be growing up in a Hispanic household or like an African household or a black household, because there was like 5 of us, or there was like 6 of us in the friend group, interchangeably. This is so confusing, but like for them to like, with the parents we had, we could barely spend time together. So we did make plans to like spend 4th of July together, or like the day after 4th of July. I don't remember what it was. But around 4th of July, basically, we were hanging out at my apartment. We had like a whole water balloon fight. This is without my friend who lives there, because she's not friends with us. She's friends with me, but she's not friends with me and my friend group. 2 separate relationships, right? So it's just me having this water balloon fight with my friend group. And then later in the night we do fireworks together and stuff, because like one of their dads actually like bought fireworks and stuff. It was so sweet. Like, girl power. Like, we had a really good time. But anyway, as this is all happening and my friends are coming over, I had to collectively like show them where I live. So like they would like come to my apartment complex, and I had to show them to my door so they wouldn't be confused. And I remember one time I had to go to like the other side of the apartment complex to fetch one of my friends. And as I was walking past the apartment building where the twins live, their little sister came out, and she's like, hi, like she started running. She's like, hi, oh my gosh, like, do you remember me? Like, I'm the girl like who you were hanging out with, and like one time you gave me your markers, and like, oh my gosh, how are you? Like, she was like 5 at the time. She was really sweet, and all I could think about was like, oh my gosh, like, where is my friend at? So like, I'm trying to go get my friend. And out of my peripheral vision, like, one of the twins, I think the twin that I like, was sitting on the steps. And he didn't, like, grab his sister or anything like that. Because, like, I don't think that he really wanted to interact with me. Because this is also confusing. While I was out of town, we didn't really, like, text or talk like that. Like, we texted very briefly, but he was like, when will you be back? Or, like, how are you? Like, really quick text conversations. And then also, like, the day after he asked me when I would be back, his twin asked me when I'd be back, because apparently they shared a phone and they shared the same Snapchat account. This is so confusing. And yeah, like, we didn't really talk like that. So like, when his little sister came out and started talking to me as I was grabbing one of my friends, like, he didn't really like pull her away or anything, because I guess he didn't want to talk to me. It was really weird. And yeah, like, I was just hanging out with my friends. We had a whole water balloon fight, and he would like get high and he would ride around his bike. And I remember we were like bringing in balloons from my apartment to like the grass area, to like this grass field behind our apartments. And like, he saw me, and I was like introducing him to my friends and everything, and like, we had that brief interaction. And like, my friends are like, why don't you like speak to him more? And I'm like, it's awkward, like, we haven't really talked like that. Like, after we hung out for those 4 days, like, we didn't really talk. Like, that was it. Like, I just went back to my hometown, and like, it's like I didn't exist to him. And like, I felt like the guy should be like, I don't don't know, besides like good morning, good night text, I feel like the guy should be like making more of an effort to like initiate conversations with the girl he likes versus the girl making like initiating conversation with the guy she likes. But yeah, that happened. And then we changed our outfits and everything. We had a lot of fun. We changed our outfits and everything, and then once it gets dark, we went outside, and we didn't have a lighter, so we just started walking around the block, asking people like, "Oh, do you have a lighter?" and stuff like that. And me knowing that the person who lives behind me sells drugs, I'm just like, I should probably ask that man if he has a lighter. So then I go to his porch. Oh my gosh! And the twin I like is sitting there depressed. I don't know about what. Like, I don't know if it's because he doesn't really talk to me or what, but yeah, like, I don't know, he's sitting there depressed, and I'm just like, well, do you have a lighter? And so he gives me the lighter in his hand, and me, like, I've never touched a cigarette, let alone, like, a blunt. So I grab the lighter, and I'm trying to flick it, and it's not lighting, and he's like, what do you mean you don't know how to use a lighter? And I was just like, and so, like, I think I took it from him, and then I went with my friends, and, like, I give my friends it, and then, the twin, his brother, which is the one that I like, but I didn't know that he was the one who catcalled me, his brother, who was, like, more of, like, the, I don't know, like, just the more go-getter type, the one who was, like, more, like, oh my gosh, I'm losing my words, it's, like, 4 in the morning, and I'm an insomniac, and I can't sleep, so I'm telling the story. His brother, who's like the more outgoing one, like the more like forward one, like sees me and my friends struggling. He's like, well, I'll help you light these fireworks. Like, I want to light fireworks. So then he starts hanging out with us, and like he helps us light fireworks, and it's like really cool. And like the girl who lives next to me with her like her little siblings, they come out and they like are playing with the sparklers and the poppers that we bought, and it's like really cool. And like their little sister, the twins' little sister, comes and like she's hanging out with us, and then finally the twin that I like comes, and he's like, I want to light fireworks too. He said it in the exact same way that his twin brother did. And like, so yeah, it's like me, my friends, the twins, their little sister, and like my neighbors, we're all hanging out. It's like good. We're having a good old time. And like towards the end of the night when we're running out of fireworks, my friends pull me aside and they're like, okay, well, like, what you want to do? Like, you want to go be freaky? Like, if you want, like, you guys can go in those bushes over there and do some stuff, and we'll keep watch and make sure no one sees. And I'm a child of the Most High God. Like, no way am I gonna let some man lick my ice cream and taste my cookies. Like, no. So I'm just like, stop. Like, we're not even doing all that. We're just talking. And I just remember like my friends were like huddling up without me because I already said no, I don't want to go off alone with him in the bushes and like do stuff. Like I was like no, like I'm too shy to do anything. Like no, I don't want to really talk to him. Like let's just all just hang out as a group. They push me off the side. They huddle up, and they're like scheming to get me alone with him. And that doesn't end up happening because like I'm shy, and as my friend called me, I'm a pussycat. And what ended up happening is like slowly my friends have to leave, and like we're cleaning up a little bit, and like at some point like it's just me and the little kids outside, the twin I like, and then I guess his twin like goes away. So like yeah, like I could have spoken to him alone and like we could talk, but I felt so awkward. So like after my friends leave, like I just grab like the trash outside, and he's like sitting off to the side like looking at me, and I just go into my apartment. Like I just leave him like standing off the sidewalk like alone, like looking at me. Like I literally just go inside my apartment. And I don't know, I felt so bad because I was like, what am I doing? Like, let me go talk to him. Like, I like him, so like, why am I letting him stand off alone by himself? Like, yeah, he seemed depressed earlier tonight, and like, he didn't really want to interact with me, but like now it seems like he wants to talk to me. Like he actually wants to spend time with me. Like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Like, let me go and speak to him. I don't know. I was just like, it's late at night. Like, I'm pretty sure like it wasn't that late. It was like 10, and it's the summer. It's like 4th of July or around 4th of July. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, like I was like, man, what am I doing? Like, the night is young. I'm 16. The night is young. It's 11 p.m. The night is young. I'm not trying to get pregnant. The night is young. Like, I should go talk to him. But I don't do that. So, yeah. And then I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I left the laundry hamper outside. Like, the laundry hamper that had our balloons or, like, the wrappers of them. Like, I left them outside from when we had the water balloon fight. So, I stepped back on my porch. And, like, I go grab the laundry hamper. And he's still standing there. And, like, he's looking at me. And I go back into my apartment. And then I tell my mom that I'm tired. I go take a shower and I go to bed. And then the next day, it's like the afternoon. And I'm like, yeah, like, dang, like, it sucks. I have to work this weekend. And like, my mom drives us 3.5 hours all the way back home so I can go to my like next shift. And that was the last time I saw him. And I didn't know it was going to be the last time I saw him. Now the gag is so you know, July keeps going. After that night, he like didn't talk to me or anything like that. Didn't like text me, call me. I don't know, things kind of died down. Like, my friend isn't really talking about her gangbanger boyfriend that much, even though she told me around that time that her gangbanger boyfriend threatened her life and her mom's life and her little sister's life if she ever broke up with him. And she also said that like he would harm himself and end his life if she broke up with him. And yeah, that was a lot. And then like eventually she tells me that like she's gonna ask if they can just be friends. And so yeah, I guess like they don't officially break up. I guess they just like slowly like put each other in the friend zone. I don't know how you can put someone you're dating into the friend zone while you're in a relationship, but that like happens. They like somehow become friends. Just that. Summer is ending, and then one day she tells me like, oh yeah, I haven't seen like my ex gangbanger boyfriend in a while, and like also I didn't really see like the twins in a while. And then she's like, oh yeah, like I heard that they moved. This is before school starts, before August, the end of August. Or when did we start school? I don't remember when we started school. I think we started school like the 2nd or 3rd week of August. But yeah, like she's like, oh yeah, I haven't seen them in a while. Like I think they moved. So you know, eventually I tell my manager like, yeah, summer's ending, and this was just gonna be like a summer like / seasonal job for me. Cause like reminder, I don't live in my hometown full time. Like I actually live like 3.5 hours away, like in this area. So yeah, like you know how like I applied to this job, lady. Like when I said seasonal, when I said part time, I meant it. So like you know, just put me down as like seasonal, and like when I come home like over Thanksgiving break or Christmas break, I'm gonna work here. I never went back to that job. And yeah, so like when I finally do come back to my apartment, because you know summer's practically over and school's about to start, I don't see these twins or her gangbanger ex-boyfriend around either. And so it occurs to me like yeah, I'm pretty sure, like I'm 100% sure like they moved, right? Which is fine, because I remember like while I was talking to the twin that I like, he was telling me like, yeah, like we are gonna move pretty soon. Like we're gonna go back to the Caribbean, right? What ended up happening is like as the school year is going on, it's the first quarter. So like basically the first quarter was the first 2 months, 2.5 months of school, and then the second quarter was the last 2 months of the semester. I don't even know how to talk about this, but yeah. So like I guess I should just say semester to make it make more sense to people. So like that first semester, like August all the way to December, like, you know, I'm friends with my friend, and like she doesn't really have much going for her, and like me, I'm like involved in a lot of stuff. Like I don't play sports, I don't believe in sports, but like I did improv club, I did creative writing, I was in dance club, I did color guard, I was in orchestra club. Like I did a lot of after school activities, and like I don't know, I just had like a lot of going on, and also I'm like really into art, so like I stayed busy, and like my mom was really about academics, so like I kept my grades up. So like I had a lot that I had to think about besides just what everybody else was doing with their life. And like I could never be hung up on the past because like I always had to think about like these things. Like I had to think about extracurriculars and like my grades and like finances, because my family, we did not have money. We were poor. And like when I say that like we still owned the house in our hometown, like real talk, our house is really small, and like it wasn't even all, our house is really small, and like it's just not, it's like a cheap home. Like it's not like fancy or anything, and like my mom has to worry about paying the mortgage and like affording our apartment that was like also kind of run down, because at one point we had roaches and we had mice we had to worry about, and like our neighbors were chronic smokers, and I lived behind a drug dealer, and like every time we turned on the heat, like we would smell smoke, and it'd literally be hard for us to breathe. Like we had a lot of issues in our apartment. Like I had so much on my mind that I couldn't spend my life just like my friend, like ruminating about the summer. Like okay, like the twins have left. Your gangbanger ex boyfriend slash situationship slash friend slash person you friend zone, like he left. Like I can't really think about the summer. No, I don't want to talk about the good old days. Like I'm talking about other stuff. Like let me let me stress about finances and about like my family and about extracurriculars. Like I don't want to talk about the summer. But she will always say weird stuff like I love popsicles. like I love popsicles. Like I love sucking on popsicles. Like really weird stuff like that. She'd be like, I got twins in me. I'd be like, what? Reminder, like, from this, when she starts telling me all this stuff, I'm 16 going into 17, right? Because this is junior year now of high school. She says weird stuff to me. And, you know, also, I live underneath a rock. Like, I'm pretty innocent. I've never been about the nasty, anything like that. So when she says, like, weird sexual stuff like this to me, I'm like, girl, what? Yeah, she say, like, wife? Like, it sounds so weird to, like, reiterate. But, like, yeah, she say weird stuff like that. Like, I love bananas. Or like, I don't even know what's a good example besides the ones that I'm saying, but like, just really weird stuff. Like, ooh, I have babies in me. Like, babies. I said, girl, you're not pregnant. She's like, no, I'm not pregnant. Like, I'm just joking. Like, really, really weird stuff. And like, I'd be minding my own black owned business, and she'd be like, you remember like when you were gone for a couple weeks and like one of the twins liked you? One time I was like at the playground, and like the twin that liked you came up to me and was like, where's your friend at? Like, when she gonna come over here? Like, I miss her. Like, you need to tell her to come call me. Like, weird stuff like that. And then like another time she was like, something along the lines of like, oh yeah, like his brother, he started talking to some girl at the other end of the apartment complex, and like he really likes her, and like she's real thick, and she has a friend who's super thick, and like the twin you like, he started talking to her friend, and like I remember one day I was like super sad because while you were gone, after you had like met one of them, like the twin you like, he was like talking to that girl, and like him and his twin would be like talking to these girls, and it seemed like they were like in a full-blown relationship. And I was like, okay, yeah. Why does this matter? Like, girl, you should told me this months ago. Like, if you're telling me like after I had my initial encounter in the summer with the twin I like, and he was asking me like, am I single? Knowing full blown like, well, like he was talking to another girl at the other end of the complex, you should have told me that. Like, I'm like, what does this matter to me? Like, okay, so like now you want me to know that, like, while he was talking to me, he was also talking to someone at the other end of the apartment complex. Like, what does this matter? Like, this was the summertime. Like, girl, like, we weren't even in a relationship. Like, yeah, like, I thought we were gonna be in it together, but like, I always knew he was gonna move, and like, I never really took him that seriously. So like, why are you telling me this stuff? Or like, he'd be like, yeah, like, sometimes I'd be minding my own business, just hanging out outside, and like the 20 block, he'd be asking me questions about you. Or then he'd be like, yeah, like when that one twin gets high, he just like talks about whatever. Like, yeah, he's mentioned you a couple times, and like he asked me questions about you, like what's your favorite color, like what's your favorite food, and I just nod and be like, like I'd be waiting for her to change the topic. Okay. And what ended up happening is it's around November, and we have this day of service thing because Catholic people are all about charity, and this is a Catholic school, so we have a day of service where we have to like go around the neighborhood and rake leaves because we're juniors, and like that's the juniors thing. Juniors always rake leaves around the neighborhood. Like we always mow grass or rake leaves around the neighborhood. Like if it's the day of service any year, that's what the junior class does. That's what we did. And this is so messed up, but like we were literally segregated by race. Like the lady who made the groups, she said that the groups were randomized, but really the groups were literally randomized by race. Like all the Hispanics / Latinos were together, all the white kids were together, all the Asians and mixed kids / the 1% of the juniors that didn't fit into those categories, they were together, and then the blacks were together. We were literally segregated by race. So like me and my friend, because she was black too, we were in the same group for that reason. And later on in the day, they said it was computer error, and like, oh yeah, to not get upset at the administration for that, even though like a bunch of parents ended up speaking out. I was like, you segregated our children by race. Like, how could you do this? Like, our school was literally founded by a cardinal in the Catholic Church who was all about desegregating Catholic schools. And yeah, they basically downplayed that. But anyway, we were raking leaves, me and my friend who lived in my apartment complex, and like my other friends, because at some point the Latino group and the black group ended up meeting together, and the Filipino group ended up meeting together, and the Asian group ended up meeting together, and the white group ended up meeting together, and then the mixed kids ended up meeting together. So the whole class was together, the whole junior class was together. I was with me and my girls, and then my friend at the apartment complex. We were talking, and I should have been minding my own black-owned business, but when you're like in high school and like, I don't know, when you're in high school, like you like to talk about guys, and like you like to talk about like sexual stuff, and like we huddled up, and I was like, okay, like just wondering like who all here is still virgin. And my friend at my apartment complex was like, well, not me. And I was like, you're not? Like, what do you mean you're not? Like, what do you mean you're not? Because girl, I know you. If you got down and busy, I would know, right? Why did my friend, the one who lives at my apartment complex, why was she was like, yeah, like I've given brain twice. And I was like, okay, like, okay, shoot. Okay, I guess you're getting down and dirty. Like, okay, like, what's spill the beans? Like, me and my friends and everything, we're like, okay, like, interesting. Like, to who? Like, who did you give brain to? Like, twice. And she's like, oh, yeah, the twins. What do you mean the twins? Like, one of my friends did say that. She's like, the twins. And then she said their names. And my friend was like, yeah, them. And like I'm bamboozled. Like I had a whole rake in my hand. Let's pretend this is a rake. And I was like, let's pretend I was like raking. I was like, I was in a squatted position with my rake, and like I was raking, and I was like, and like I like dropped the rake, and like my homegirl was like, she's like this, and I was like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, like I get rain. Like one day, like one of them was like, oh, like do this to me, and then the next day the other one was like, yeah, I saw you do that. Like do that to me too. And my friend's like, a reminder, I'm friends with the girl in my apartment complex, so her classmate, because the girl who's like this, my friend, was friends with her first, and then that's how I knew the girl. So that was our mutual friend, right? And she's like, I don't even know if she was like this, or maybe she was like this, but like she has she looks sassed up, ready to square up. But no, I just remembered like I was like this, and like one of my friends who was in a conversation was like, cause she remembered, cause we were in a class together, and I was telling her the events of the summer, so she was equally as confused. So two of my friends, or maybe it was three of my friends who were in the conversation, were confused that my friend was saying this stuff, and like you know how people are like fight or flight. Well, I'm freeze. So whenever something crazy happens, I'm frozen. And like I remember my mouth be like, shoot, what? I was like this. I was like, and so like our mutual friend who was like this, or I don't remember, she was like this. I don't know. Her language changed a lot, but I remember it was time to go back inside school, or like go back towards school and out of the neighborhood. And as we were walking, my friend was like, she was saying my name again and again. She's like, I know you did not just hear that. Like, girl, like you need to go talk to her. Like, what do you mean she was messing with your man? What do you mean? What do you mean she was doing nasty stuff on your man? Like, like, girl, you need to go say something, or I'm gonna say something. And I was like, no. Like, girl, like I heard that. We're not gonna talk about it. We're not gonna talk about it. So we get to the field of the school where it's like a field day after laborious work, where we're practically being slaves because they want to segregate us by race, and they made us black kids walk the furthest in the neighborhood and do the most work, and we're the last ones to eat lunch that day. So yeah, it sucked, but yeah, after we had walked by the school and like we were having our field day, I found my friend who's part of like my big friend group. I found her on the track, and I was telling her all this information, and she didn't really blink an eye. She's like, girl, I've told you from the jump, like, like I told you, like, this friendship is not it, like, And I was like, yeah, you're right. You're right. You were always right. Like, this friendship was not it. Like, and, like, I'm ignoring the girl, my friend who lives at the apartment complex with me. Because, like, girl, what in the world? There's so much more I can say, but that was the end of our friendship. Cause I'm just like, you cheated on your boyfriend so you can do something sexual with the guy that your friend is talking to and his twin brother. And you've been teasing me for months, talking about like, oh yeah, like I could have been with him, and like there could have been so much more to our relationship, which I didn't. I could have elaborated more on. Like you teased me for like several months about like there could have been so much more to our relationship, knowing dang well when I wasn't in town, you were messing with him on the low. Crazy.